Kane did not play well the whole game. Oh my days, it's going to happen. It's coming home, boys, come on! And they will win the final as well. Yes guys, welcome back to the 6th episode of the Chinwag podcast. In this week's episode, I'll be talking about the round of 16 games that have happened so far and looking ahead to the quarter-final games. Let's get into the video. So the first game was Wales against Denmark. Denmark dominated the ball, they got 4 goals, Harry Wilson got sent off. Wales, to be honest, they just looked knackered from their group games. From Robert Page, there was not much rotation. They kept playing the same players over and over again when most teams have been using those 5 subs. I don't think Robert Page has been using the subs that often. And the starting 11 is always the same. So obviously those players are going to be more tired than the rest. Wales had one of the weaker squads in the round of 16, so they couldn't really utilise their full squad to the maximum potential. Kasper Dolberg scored 2, Marler scored 1 and Braithwaite scored 1 in added time to seal the win for the Danes, who now have progressed to the quarterfinals. I thought Wales would win and Denmark would go out, but obviously I was wrong. So let's see how Denmark do in the next round of fixtures. But for Wales, they exit the tournament with their heads held high. Kiefer Moore, Bale, Ramsey, Roberts. I think those 4 were the stand-up players, as well as Dan James on the wing. I think Kiefer Moore deserves a big move. Well, I say big, but I think he should go to Burnley. With Ashley Barnes and Wood always kind of getting injured, I think he'll be a good addition to them. But overall, I think Wales, they'll be disappointed to go out of the round of 16. But I think they'll be pleased to have got there in the first place and to have got through that group because they did play very well in the group stage. Moving on to Italy and Austria. The Italians, I think they could have peaked a bit too early in the group stage. It was 0-0 after full time, which was a quite boring game. Arnautovic was quite unlucky to have a goal ruled out for offside. But then Italy went 2-0 up in extra time and then you thought it was over. Then the Austrians got one back. They piled on the pressure towards the end, but unfortunately they couldn't get a goal. Overall, I think Italy did deserve to win. They should have won quite convincingly, but they managed to scrape through, and it's all about going through in the tournament. It's not about how you play, it's just about winning the games. So Italy went through. Chiesa scored the first for Italy, Pessina scored the second, and Kiladzic got one back for Austria. It was a bit tight towards the end. Austria piled on the pressure, as I said. It's all about winning the games when you get to the knockout stages and in the Euros, to be fair. So Italy managed to go through. Not really that convincing. Don't know if they peaked too early, but it doesn't matter. They are through to the next round. So the next game was Netherlands against Czech Republic. I thought Netherlands would wipe the floor against the Czechs. But De Ligt's handball changed the whole game. I think the sending off was a correct decision from the ref. He was the last man. He stopped Patrick Schick from going through on goal. And I think Czech Republic, they dominated the ball after De Ligt got sent off. And they deserved to win. Thomas Holles got a goal from his header. That was a very good header. A few Dutch players on the line, but they couldn't keep it out. And then obviously, who else but Patrick Schick for the Czechs got the second. And the Czechs go through. This was the first major shock of the whole tournament. So they did really well. And now they're through to the quarterfinals when they've just finished 3rd in Group D. I do think they did really well against the Netherlands. It can be hard to play against 10 men. They can just sit back. Netherlands did not do enough. They peaked too early as well. They were the top scorers going into the game. Daniel Marlon had such a great opportunity to score, but Thomas Vaclik did so well. Marlon tried to go around him, and then literally a minute later, De Ligt got sent off, and that changed the whole complexion of the game for the Netherlands. But yeah, Czech Republic deserved to go through, and credit to them. So the first big clash in the round of 16 was Belgium against Portugal. The game started off quite tight and tense. It was a really cagey affair. No team wanted to lose. As the first half was coming to an end, Thorgan Hazard got the ball, edge of the box. What a strike from him. He absolutely smashed it past Rui Patricio. The movement on the ball was insane. Patricio was going one way, and then the ball just went the other. Maybe he should have saved it if his positioning was a bit better. I think the commentator said if Courtois was in goal for that, he could have saved that. But it's difficult with the ball swerving everywhere. It's a difficult shot to save, but that was a really, really good shot to earn them a goal just before half-time. The second half, Portugal played better. Belgium sat back more because they had the lead. Portugal threw on so many players like Andre Silva, João Felix, Bruno Fernandes. Bernardo Silva hasn't really performed well at the tournament. Portugal threw everything at the Belgians, but couldn't find the breakthrough. Rafa Guerreiro, he was so unlucky. So unlucky. He hit the post from a half volley with his weaker foot, which was so close. Courtois made a good save from a header, but that was straight at him. Palmed that away nicely. Portugal created many chances towards the end because they threw on all their attackers. But I think Belgium deserved to go through. Resolute defending. Vermaelen, Vertonghen, Alderweireld at the back. Experience for days. I said before Vermaelen doesn't get into the squad. He proved me wrong and played very well against Ronaldo. But Bruno for Portugal doesn't really do much, does he? Bernardo doesn't do much. Jota missed a great chance in literally the first few minutes. The defending champions are out, beaten by the world number ones, and Belgium progressed through to the next round. Moving on to games on Monday. Wow, what an incredible set of games. Croatia against Spain. Unai Simon, what are you doing? Look at the ball. Why are you trying to think about the next pass? That was a crazy own goal. Put Croatia 1-0 up. And then Spain scored a flurry of goals. 3. They were leading 3-1. But then, again, a lack of concentration at the back. Eric Garcia and Laporte look like they've never ever played together, although they play for the same club team. The Croatians managed to get a goal in the 85th and the 92nd minute to get the game to extra time. But once extra time came, Croatia looked so tired. Spain made so many subs. In extra time, Spain managed to get 2 goals in 3 minutes. In the 100th minute by Morata, 103rd minute by Mikel Oyarzabal, just before half-time in extra time. At that point, if Spain threw it away, they don't deserve to go through. But obviously, Spain held on. Croatia looked tired, and Spain went through in the end, 5-3 after extra time. That was a crazy game, and I didn't think that could get topped. France versus Switzerland was the next game in the evening of Monday. Seferovic put Switzerland 1-0 up, which was a shock anyway. Then normal service was resumed for France. They managed to go 3-1 up. Pogba with an absolute screamer and Benzema with 2 goals, so he's ended the tournament on 4. But then, so many changes. Griezmann came off for Sissoko. Marcus Thuram came on. I'm not saying they're bad players, but you don't take off your main players when the game is not won. You need to focus on the game at hand and not think about the next game. But Didier Deschamps made a big mistake by subbing his key players there. Giroud came on, couldn't do anything. Xhaka played out of this world. I've always rated Xhaka. Everyone slates him. I think it's because he's slow. But Xhaka's passing is great. His vision's great. He's got a great long shot as well. Switzerland managed to equalise. They got 2 goals and they equalised in the last minute. Incredible scenes. When Rodriguez missed the penalty for Switzerland, and if Switzerland didn't go through, they would have been kicking themselves because that was a perfect opportunity. Lloris did well to save that. Seferovic came up big in the 82nd minute, and Gavranovic came up big for them, big time in the 90th minute. Gave them the equaliser. Extra time, both teams again looked really tired with them playing not too long ago. The most famous footballer for France, the youngest player in the squad, missed his. Sommer got a big left hand to the penalty, and he managed to get Switzerland through to the quarterfinals. This is their first win in a knockout game in the Euros for a very long time. I think it's their second ever win. And they will go through to the next round so unexpectedly. So we have the holders that are out, the world champions that are out, and strong favourites that are out in the Netherlands. Moving on to England's game. I can't believe this happened. I thought England would go through. I backed the boys to the end of the world. Sterling's goal was a great goal. Sterling started the move by running at the defence. Kane held it up, played it to Grealish, who played it to Shaw, and whacked it across the box for Sterling to tap in. That was a fantastic team goal. Jack Grealish did change the game when he came on. I think he's a very good player. So I think he deserves to start. But it is what it is. Gareth Southgate brought him off the bench, changed the game. Also with the second goal, Kane did not play well the whole game. In the first half was a bit dead, a bit cagey, just like the Belgium-Portugal game. Germany created some chances. Pickford's save in the first half from Timo Werner, that was a big boy save. When Müller was through, when Sterling made that mistake, I was like, oh my days, it's going to happen. Germany are going to equalise and they're going to score. But surprisingly, Müller put that wide. Grealish got the ball in the wing. What a cross. Low and hard, just on Kane's head, who nodded it in. And England are through to the next round. It was an incredible goal, incredible scenes. The atmosphere was so good. Whoever went to the game must have been so gassed to be there. And I can't believe England are through. It's coming home, boys. Come on! So England progressed to the quarterfinals and they will face Ukraine. Ukraine against Sweden. It finished 1-1 after full time. Extra time was, again, a bit dead. There's so many injuries. Every single player going down constantly. But then they managed to get the goal in the 121st minute in added time, in extra time. Incredible scenes for the Ukraine. Shevchenko leading them out. World-class player. And he's managed to get them to the quarterfinals of the Euro. So massive credit to him. Sweden got a red card. Danielson. That was a shocking challenge. He got the ball first, but then he extended his foot, the follow through, and the hyperextension on the Ukraine player's knee was terrible. He will be out for such a long time. Hope he has a speedy recovery. That changed the game. Ukraine dominated the ball from there. Zinchenko upped the pace by sprinting. Malinovsky came on, who's a baller. The whip cross from Zinchenko to Dovbyk, who headed it home, similar to the Kane goal. That was an incredible cross in literally the last minute. He only replaced one of the players, Dovbyk, because one of the other players was injured. But that was incredible scenes. Incredible scenes. And the Ukraine managed to go through. But Sweden will be kicking themselves. Forsberg hit the bar a couple of times. He dominated the game for them. Isaac was a bit quiet. But overall, Ukraine will be so happy to go through. And they will face England in the next game. So let's look at the games coming up in the quarterfinals. The first quarterfinal is Switzerland against Spain. If Switzerland can do a job against France, they can do a job against anyone. They dropped back, they defended really well, and they managed to get a few goals on the counter-attack. Spain's defence looks a bit shaky. Unai Simon, I don't know what his confidence is like. The centre-backs don't really look that convincing. So, I'm not going to lie, I think Switzerland will defend their way and go through against Spain. Belgium against Italy, that is a big game. Italy were not convincing, neither were Belgium, but they were playing the holders, so it's understandable. I think Belgium will go through against Italy. They've got the better players individually. But a big factor could be De Bruyne and Hazard missing. But they do have Mertens, Carrasco, Thorgan Hazard as well. But De Bruyne and Eden Hazard are world-class players on their day, especially for Hazard. But if they can be fit, I think they'll win. It will be more difficult without them, but I still think with the class of Lukaku, the experience at the back, and Courtois in goal, I do think Belgium will progress. Czech Republic against Denmark, one of the most unexpected quarterfinal matches. I bet you no one would have predicted this. I think Denmark will go through against the Czech Republic. I doubted them against Wales, which was wrong of me. Denmark got a good team, good midfield. Thomas Delaney in there controls the midfield. Christensen stepped into CDM. They got Braithwaite, Poulsen, Schmeichel, who's a quality keeper. I think they would have too much for Czech Republic. I know I said that about Netherlands. But I do think Denmark will dominate the ball and they will go through. Czech Republic will try to play on the counter-attack. So I do think Denmark will go through to the semi-finals. And the final one will be England against Ukraine. I got to back the boys. If they can beat Germany, they can beat Ukraine. I'm not saying it will be an easy game. I think Ukraine will play with a low block, play on the counter-attack with the quality of Malinovsky, Yarmolenko, Zinchenko. But they did go to extra time and they had to force the issue against a Sweden side. And England had more rest. They only played 90 minutes and they got a stronger squad as well. So I do think England are going through and it is coming home. I'm telling you, it's coming home. You heard it here first. Well, you didn't. But England will win, go to the semi-finals, and they will win the final as well. Big predictions. If you enjoyed episode 6 of the Chinwag podcast, don't forget to like this video, comment what you thought down below, and I'll see you later for more. Before... What? I did. Do you fancy playing some GTA in a bit? Because, literally, do you know what I'm doing right now? I'm filming my podcast. So you've just interrupted me, I was in full flow. This is going to go in the outtakes as well, you know. So you better watch this. Good. But yeah, I shouldn't be too long. Like, I should be like 20 minutes. And then I'll call you back. But don't call me again. Or text me. I'm going to put my phone on silent because I know you're going to do it. Alright, cool, bro. Safe.